Okay, we're back. We're second half of this video, probably a week on now, but you'll see I've got now the fuel lights off and the engine management light is off, which, as I've said in another video, that how ridiculous is that? But I've just got petrol, so all those lights go off. And we're just going to go for a quick run out the road here and show you guys what its RPM is at 100 k's, 110, and what its ride quality is, and tell you where the wind hits you, because it's got an extremely low screen. It's on the lowest setting because we found that the high setting actually puts it right into your face, which is quite annoying. I'd rather the wind hit my chest. Especially in the summer, you want to be able to open your jacket up, puff it up a little bit. This is the road that goes towards Ballarat from Maryborough. Beautiful day. We're out for a bit of a ride. Don't ride this a heck of, I just sort of give it a run when Cassie can't ride it very often, just make sure it all keeps happy. Generally riding either my Tenere or my little Honda. My Husqvarna, I sort of love it. So good to ride, and it's a carby model, the last of the carbies, and I don't get why people want fuel injection. If you tune your carby well, it's reliable. It just works. It just keeps going. And if you get a bad batch of fuel, you drain the bowl, pull the carby out, blow it out with your mouth. I've been there, I've done that. I've lived through all those experiences of dirty fuel on old TT 250s, and I had a YZ490 two-stroke that I had ADR complied. It got bad batch of fuel once. You just blow out the carby, drain the tank, drain the sediment out of the bottom of the tank too, because you can. You don't have to lose all the fuel. Give them a kick, bang, off you go again. And if you're out riding and you're enjoying yourself, why do you need the grief of a fuel injected bike packing it up? I know they're all fuel injected now, but everybody says about DRZ 400s if they're only fuel injected. I'm sorry, but nah. There you go, there's 100 k's. We're doing about 5,500 RPM, and I'm in top gear, and when you can see it takes off pretty good. They got a good bit of zip, and that's just a quick roll on in top gear. And at this speed you can actually probably go down a couple if you needed to. Like if you're behind a vehicle and you've got to get past, you can go down one gear, 2 gears. I reckon that's pretty impressive for a little bike. This is what they're great for, big distances. It rides beautifully. Look at the handlebars on the highway. Like I've got 2 fingers on the bars at 102. There you go, look at that. They're just beautiful out doing this. And they're really good for that slow stuff in the forest, that 50k stuff. But once you push them, these are not for an advanced rider. If you buy one of these and you're an advanced rider, you will destroy the suspension on it, you'll destroy the bike, you'll end up with dented rims, flat tyres, terrible. The brakes are dynamite. Like I'm right up to there, and look at that. Oh, brilliant. KTM does all that, and then they stuff up on the suspension on them. I think we're actually probably going to get some heavier springs for the front, because even Cassie's still sort of not real happy with it, and she's light. I don't know how much heavier there's a guy in Ballarat that did my YSS suspension on my little 300 rally, and he did a brilliant job. He let me watch his whole process. He did the whole thing in front of me. Beautiful workmanship. Really takes his time and does it methodically. I'll find out what his name is and I'll let you know in a future video. But I couldn't believe how good that little Honda feels now. I can't believe how good it is. But this, I think I'm almost thinking about taking it to him and just saying, do your magic. But I think the valving's fine on this. I think it just needs a little bit of spring. Because I did put different preloaders in. I put a little bit longer ones in to bump it up a little bit, but I think they're on their limit. Great little thing for doing this sort of work. I just thought I'd show you what it's like out on the road. It's actually, the wind is literally hitting me right in my chest. It's not making my helmet buff it at all. See, that's a second gear takeoff from a corner, so there's not much power until you then so they're pretty good for a little bike. That shows you people what they go like if you give it to them. That's only 8.5. I'm not going to rev it all the way to red line. There's no point in that. They're not a bad little bus apart from the suspension. I know I've said it a heap. Might get a bit repetitive, but just annoys. But for a beginner, go get one. When it comes down to that, and even though the back end's been lowered, it doesn't seem to bottom or anything. It's fine. It's just these forks, and these are these new Apex forks. Big deal, people, big deal. When you see these bikes and you see this bike on the advert flying through the air, have you ever seen in those videos the bike land? Have you ever seen the landing from the front or the front side angle? It's always from the back. If they show it land, it'll be from the back, or it'll show it on a downhill slope so as it looks like the bike's landed softly. But trust me, if it's gone a metre in the air, this thing's going to go bang when it lands. But they don't care. Sells the bikes. Sells the bikes. You wouldn't jump a Tenere a metre in the air. Not as a standard bike. Oh, God no. But if once you get the forks and all the suspension done, it's like all these bikes, they come out to feed into the aftermarket industry. So is it people have to spend money. My little Honda, $2,500 worth of YSS suspension. My Tenere, Chad's did it, $1,350. That's valving, springs, him doing the whole lot. And he pulled the steering head apart and greased all the bearings, and he pulled all the linkages apart and greased all them. All for $1,350 odd bucks. Go to him, he's in Geelong. Or near Corio. But I think that the guy in Ballarat's really good. I'm happy with his work as well, but I supplied the suspension, he just installed it, because when you install the suspension on the little rally, the YSS, the full cartridge kit where you get rid of one spring, putting a heavier spring in one side of a fork leg does not fix the little Honda rally. It does not. People that say that have not rode one and have not owned one have no knowledge on that and shouldn't make comment. I've rode it with both, and it does make a difference to have cartridges both sides, and it's worth doing. But they've got to actually screw the bottom of the foot off the stanchion on the bottom of the fork leg, has to come off to install the cartridges. And do not try to do that at home, because there's a little bit of heat got to be used, there's a special Loctite got to be used, there's a little grub screw in there that nobody knows about, and you would destroy it trying to actually get those feet off. But the suspension guy in Ballarat, he knew where that was, knew how much temperature he had to put into it, had a heat gun. There was actually, when the liquid melts at a certain temperature, that's when you undo the foot. It's really something you shouldn't do at home. But once it's done, it is brilliant. And why Honda just doesn't do that? It'd lift their sales. Anyway, wind her up and head on home. I think I thought I'm going to show you. I've given little Katie, the KTM, a little bit of a run, and I'm going to pack it away again. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe.